I know y'all probably can see that black thing. But anyway, that's what we gonna do. Gonna get it this way. Yeah. If it's crooked, y'all let me know. And if you can't hear, listen. Y'all had me working on my new system, trying to get this, because I left my earphones at work, so I had to run to go get them. But then we got a new system we working with, and I don't know what I'm doing, but guess what? We gotta figure it out. Look out here, look out here. Yes, it's a microphone. So we're gonna get it working itself out. We got some other stuff coming. But how are y'all doing today? Hope you all are doing well. We're doing a Lavi's life lessons. Listen, listen, listen. Greetings to all of you. But I wanted to talk about projections today. The reason why was because I'll say it like that. Um, Yesterday I made a post, and I know some people just be randomly posting and thinking, "Oh, it'll be okay." But you all have to know, and I'm learning as well, when things are about to take place, and when you've been when you've been provoked, or somebody instigates or gaslights or do things because they know what's going on, excuse me, within the whole world. They know what's going on with people's vibrations. They know what's going on in people's lives. They know what to do, when to do certain things to get the stuff going. Okay, it's like I ain't gonna say it's like them people. They know what to put out here so that, excuse me, I rub my eyes because I got oil all on my face. What to do to get things started. And I posted yesterday, and I was like, why am I posting this? And Spirit had me to post it because the very thing that I posted about is happening. Not that that hadn't been happening, but it really is. Today, I got on Facebook today, and I saw so many people fighting, fighting, just fight videos. What? Like we don't already have a fight, a war going on with communities and countries and just with ourselves. But you got people out here, and that's what we're looking for. We are so upset about something that we're projecting onto other people, and it's not what they gave us. If you are upset with somebody and you're choosing to project onto someone else, but that person is not the person that you want to really fight. That person's not who you really upset with. A lot of y'all are still fighting little battles from when you grew up and you couldn't take up for yourself. You couldn't stand up for yourself. You couldn't say what you wanted to say. You couldn't do what you wanted to do. So you get upset and you project on someone else. Y'all out here fighting on folks that don't want to fight. You cussing folks out that they trying to figure out why you're cussing people out. You mad at somebody and you talking about I'm gonna get them back. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And that person has no clue of what's really wrong. And then when they look at you, you looking like, I know you do it, and they looking like, what is wrong with you? And I do it. I do it too. I have done it. And I'm like, okay, let me, and because I'm watching how y'all post things too, and it's like you're saying. So you have people putting this post on here talking about some blame. Let me tell y'all something. Before y'all post stuff, sometimes look up the words, and that's the same thing as a projection. It's a projection, and if you're not taking responsibility of who you're projecting on, who you're lashing out on, You're making that person responsible for unresolved work that you don't want to do. So I'll just project. Projection, give you a definition. A thing that extends outward from something else. That right there says it all. That says it all. That says it all. I'm just gonna stick with that. Let me see. Now let me move on. Okay. Okay, so it says, what does it mean if someone is projecting? When someone says you're projecting, they're typically meaning that the person is attributing their own thoughts, own feelings, or behaviors onto someone else. The psychological concept known as projection occurs when an individual unconsciously transfer their own undesirable traits or emotions onto another person. And that's what I mean when I talk about projection, y'all. You are upset or you are hurt. Because when a person is hurt, y'all, when they're deeply hurt, it's it's an instinct for them to hurt other people. Prime example, I was thinking about Adolf Hitler this morning. And if you ever go back and look at, oh goodness, there's so many examples, from the history, and her story as well, that when they were not able to grow up like they wanted to, or there was some type of something going on within the childhood, whether it was trauma, wounding, just whatever, that when they became adults to gain power, they would project onto other people to gain control, because at that time they felt like they were powerless. As a child, sometimes you feel like you're powerless. You lose your voice. You're not able to speak your voice. You're not able to live the life you want. So when you become an adult, that's the reason why a lot of y'all are projecting with your lives, because y'all just out here with, you want validation, you want acceptance, you want approval, and you doing every damn thing to work to get it, because of the projection of what you didn't receive as a child. So you're projecting on other people of your wounds, of your traumatic experiences. And we sitting back looking like, I didn't get it to you. Take responsibility for your projection. You going home, you going off on your mate, cussing your mate out. Your mate looking at you like, okay, who messed with you at work? Because I didn't do anything to you. But I'm upset. Why? Because he's not, or she's not giving me the life that I said I really want. No, you're not giving yourself the life that you really want. Nobody is responsible for your happiness. Nobody is responsible for your happiness. Nobody else is responsible for your own happiness. That is yours to mind. So as I was saying, I was going to think about Adolf Hitler, and I was like, if you ever go back and look at his his life growing up, and I guess I took it because I had made a post about something, on somebody else's post, and boy, I got tickled because now I go back to the Adolf Hitler, but when I made the comment, I was just sharing my experiences, two experiences that I had. And so this lady comes in and she's, oh, I want to pray for you. And then I was like, hold up. Because of what she felt like. And nobody, people would jump in and comment on things, but they never really ask, what the experiences were. They don't care. Folks just think they know shit. You don't know a lot of things. Just be real about it. And so then, this is what I did before I commented. This is my brother on this. But before I replied to her comment, I went down and I looked at everybody else's comment. She didn't comment on theirs. You know how you go through and you might comment on somebody's page and then somebody, if, I don't know if y'all let this happen to y'all. Some of y'all I know, but they'll come in and you got a person that comes in and they read your energy or they read what they think they know about you and they'll be like, oh, contact me because what I see on you is this and this and that. Okay. So I went through everybody else's comment and she did not comment on nobody else's stuff. Like, okay, you gonna comment on mine. I'm like, all right, here we go. So do I respond? And then I heard yes. So I replied and I was like, sweetheart, first of all, I did. I told her, I said, I thank you. I didn't get mad. I didn't do upset. I didn't get upset. I was like, but I thank you for your comment. Thank you for your prayers. But, and then I went on into finishing up my comment. And then after that, she, put a care emoji. I don't care how you respond to it. Because again, you know, I'm like, all right, let's not get offended. There is a projection because I can be free to, y'all just don't understand. People don't like when you're free to express yourself or free to live your life. Now, other folks might have been, hiding behind their comments, but I'm like, I'm free to share my experience because a lot of people need to know things through your experiences. While y'all hiding, private. I don't want everybody in my business because folks are do. Baby, you ain't got no business. What you done lived out, everybody else done lived out too. Just in different forms. Same, like they said, same thing. Same thing, just different form. Or it might be the same form. You don't know. We don't know. So going back to Adolf Hitler, when I look at him, when I look at just certain ones that have, lived out a life where, we might have called it, okay, yes, it's bad, or we call it evil, we call why they so this and why they so that. It's because, I would go into another explanation, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But at the same time, when you've been raised in certain environments, when you become an adult, there's a certain level of control that you want. There's a certain level of initiation for one, but there's a certain level of approval, acceptance. You could have been one of those that grew up and you heard that you were, I'm gonna say ugly. You just ugly, just ugly. Your skin, everything's bad. Everything is ugly, ugly, ugly. Just ugly, 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 ugly. You might have heard that. Or you just dumb, 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 dumb. Some people take it and they run with it, and that's what they feel like when they grow up. But then there's some that literally go through transformations. And the reason why they go through transformations of themselves is because this is what somebody has spoken to them. So then you wondering why they're calling certain people certain things. They might say the same thing. Oh, maybe you ugly. Well, we don't know what they were raised or how they were raised to hear, certain things. And that's a projection. If you had in a chat, let's be real about it. Let's get deep. Let's get deep. I'm not going to give a statistic number, but I'm going to say, I ain't going to say majority. I'm going to say there is a space. I'm going to give it a space that the abuser, there was certain type of abuse that they had to experience. And when they got older, they projected that abuse onto someone else. Okay? So again, when I was looking at the history, and I was like, okay, hold on, y'all. When I was looking at the history, and I said, okay, And that's the biggest thing that I'm learning now is to go back and look at people's documentaries, their stories, their history, just even with myself, to see not so much of why people do things, but it gives you the setup, and it gives you the space to be compassionate. It gives you the space to be empathic and give empathy. And then you can respond different, not react. And that's what I made in my post yesterday when I was like, will you choose to do this in silence, which is respond, or will you do it vocally? Because a lot of us are being triggered out here, and we're taking on battles and fights that's not ours. It's just a projection. Excuse me. And you need to know where your projection lies. You need to know where it falls. You need to know what damage it does. You need to know what projections you have took on. You need to know all of that. But we won't sit down long enough to do our work, to even see it. We just get in our fences and we ready to roll. So for you that's been entertained by the people, like I said, that have the fight videos or the arguing or the conflict or all of that, so be it. But there's some projection somewhere. And I've been taught, I'll say that. I ain't gonna say always. I've been taught that most of the time, if you're experiencing it, it is something for you to observe in it. And it goes back to, even in the comment, I said we are all three, not two, all three characters in the story. You're either the victim, the villain, or the victor. And I did a video on that a long time ago. In your story, you're either the victim, the villain, or the victor. And we get so, we celebrate people that, you know, overcome. We celebrate people that dominate. We celebrate people. We do that. That's what we've been trained to do. But what about the person that is innocent from the projection? What about the ones that heal from the projections? What about the one that observe and see the projections and call it out? We even get upset with them when they're like, you projected on me. What? I'm not projecting. This is how you treat me. This is how you do. No, 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 no. There's some projection there. Where is that? But a lot of people are not in. I'm not gonna say a lot of people. There are some that still struggling to actually deal with seeing those as well. Look here. If you're in a space right now that you're dealing with something, you're being called higher to do your own self work. You're being called higher to do your own self work, to observe yourself, to see the real you, the all of you, the dark and the light. You're being called higher. I'm being challenged. You're being called higher. I was tickled yesterday. I was on TikTok and I was watching Alante. He was, you know, assisting people, on their path and doing things. And, and he did. He just came out and said, last year my ass was handed to me. Some of y'all asses ain't been handed to you. Ain't been handed to you. There are some situations, some life circumstances, some life experiences that people go through that they can't even talk it out. They can't say a word. Their elevation is, their ascension is, we look at the glory and the fame of everything. But you sit down and really talk to them people and they can't tell you nothing. They can't say a word. Because that thing got so intimate and deep. It wasn't an attack. It was a spiritual experience. And when you get to that level where your ass has been handed to you, and I know y'all don't like that with it, because when your ass been handed to you on a platter, and then your spirit is like, it's like the Job experience. Here's your life handed to you on a platter. What will you choose to do with it? When you sit in your ashes after you've been consumed and burned. I'll say burned, but not consumed. How about that? That people will come to you and with their judgments and their criticism of what they think you dealing with. That you have to face yourself. Not alone, but you have to face yourself. And a lot of leaders, to get to the level that they had to get to, had to face themselves. Life has been handed to them on a platter. So what will you do with this? Now some project. I'm upset because I have to go through this. I'm upset because I have to deal with this. And I just want this and that. And so they'll lash out. While you got some of your leaders lashing out on y'all. Some of your leaders are projecting on y'all. Because they don't like the experience. But the ones that actually see their own divinity in the lessons, they don't say a word. And that is you, too. Keep telling you, y'all are leaders in your own lives. Now, you can keep choosing to project on the people because you don't like going through this. You don't like dealing with this. And you don't like it because it's hard. And you don't like it because, and you just find a way to distract yourself and this and that and other. And you don't want to be disciplined. And you don't want to be focused. And you like your distractions. And you mad at this one. I'm still mad at you because I heard you said something about this. I'm still mad at you because you did this to me back in school. You still projecting, still projecting. I'm still upset. I can't talk to you because you do this. I can't fool with you because y'all do this. I can't do this. It's always something. But then there's a period where you will have to sit still and take responsibility that you were called to that person to live out that lesson with that person. And they came here only to teach you how you're going to respond to them. They'll come and spit on your in your face. They'll come and say things to you you don't like. They'll come and they'll poke 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 and they'll poke. And they'll find ways to just keep you riled up until you do self mastery work where you look at them and say, you're projecting. You've grown up hurt all your life. You've grown up and you've done some things because maybe that's how somebody has done something to you. And what I'm going to do is see you where you're at and have empathy and step in your shoes. Not take your place, but step in your shoes because you're a hurt person that is choosing to hurt other people. And I'm going to take my responsibility for my part, but then I'm going to put yours back in your platter and give it back to you because I don't deserve it. That's called taking your power back. And a lot of y'all need to take your power back from projections. Got to go out here and cuss out folks and act a fool and keep up the same. You ain't got to do all that. You just got to take responsibility, accountability. So I've learned my lesson. I see you. I've lived you out several times. I won't do it this time because it's a projection. What I will do, call you out, take my power back, and I can move on with my life, and you can move on with yours. So again, y'all just getting caught up in other folks' conflicts and stories, and y'all, like I said, you watching it every time you turn around. That's why you can look at them and tell. Even when the lady that actually, like I said, that commented on my post, commented on my comment, and she was talking about something being bad, and I went and looked at her profile, and I said, so the projection is what you see is bad, or what you feel like is bad, and then you projected on to what I said, but you watch the same stuff. As my friend Leslie Carter said, make it make sense. You got to know people. But the only way you're going to get to know these things is you got to have to start sitting down and actually making a conscious decision. That's the reason why I like the definition when it says people do things unconsciously. They're not conscious. Do you know that they're putting things in your food so you're not conscious? Do you know that they're putting things in the air so they're not conscious? Do you know that there's programming all around they're not conscious? They got you consciously watching TV. That's why they got people, like I said, you got people out here, they're paying to make them fight so you can stay unconscious and stay distracted. You got people that they're paying to actually do harm to other people so that you can stay in fear biases, all of that, unconscious. Unconscious. Because if I can get you to be unconscious, you will not only you will delay your consciousness, you'll delay you will delay that stuff. And then when the real stuff comes, they already got you unconscious and you can't see. Some of y'all don't want your consciousness to even up level itself or even upgrade. But that is what you're being called to, your own consciousness. It goes back to the last video. I talked about telling people to wake up. That's what Teddy Pendergrass said. Wake up, everybody. He didn't just say wake up the people I care for, to wake up this. He didn't have so he was like, wake up, everybody. No more sleeping. When you are awake, you see that stuff. You see it for what it is. You even see people projecting on other folks. And you don't side with them. You see they hurt. You see they're projecting. You see it's not somebody, are they wrong? No, you don't even take a side. You just see the truth of stuff. And you're not programmed. Even people that go into the military, they have to be programmed. They have to have a certain mindset. They have to have themselves together. That's the reason why when they get in there and stuff start happening, it's because them folks start waking up. And we're grateful for them. Don't get me wrong. We are grateful for people that, like I said, that go into the military. But you got to have a strong constitution to go up in there. Because that's like training someone to blatantly say that when we go to war, you got to go to war. And we take those people for granted, even veterans. It don't make no sense that, like I said, we projecting out on veterans. They're going through PTSD. They're going through all this stuff, and we're not grateful for them. Okay, we know who they serve for the country, but I'm like, what help, what assistance have we really given to those people? See them out on the street, and we talking about, oh, they should know, but you don't know what they saw when they go over there. You don't know what they dealt with. That's a projection. And we project on them instead of taking care of our people. A lot of folks going through a lot of mental construct, just a lot of mental stuff. We want to talk about they crazy and this and that and other. But people are going through stuff mentally. Why? Because they, like I said, they projecting, they putting all types of stuff out here for you to get caught up in. You got to get conscious and you got to know what's going on. You can't get distracted with the next fad. You can't get distracted with the next argument or fight or, I just, when I made that, it started soon. I made that post. I'm like, why am I posting this? Now I know why. So again, gave it the definition for projection. If you didn't hear it, go back and listen to this video. But be aware of the projections, y'all. Not only the projection from other people, but the projections from you as well. Are you projecting on the people yourself? Getting smart. Every time somebody says something, you just in your feelings. You're getting smart. You're talking crazy. I ain't gonna say talking crazy, but you're projecting. And it's not something that somebody else done to you. The person you're projecting on, it's not what they done to you. Something from someone else that hurt you, you're projecting that onto somebody else that's just there. Sometimes you just got to be real with yourself and tell that person, excuse me, you ain't did a thing to me. You might remind me or represent something that I didn't deal with from my past or someone I didn't know how to speak to them or stand up in my truth or say what I needed to say. So you get the projection. But those that's woke and conscious, they're going to put that thing back in your lap. They're going to hand your ass back in your lap. They're going to tell you the truth, how they experience you. And you can walk around here offended all you want to. Or you can do your work and say, let me take responsibility. That was not your projection that I gave. That was not yours for me to give out to you. I need to go do my work to really see where I projected. And I take responsibility. Not blame, but I take responsibility. Making that post about blame. I don't have to blame myself. What? We already blame ourselves and we take that thing to a negative context. Because a lot of people are still living out in shame and guilt and blame. Just take responsibility for your part and do your work. And just say, yeah, not I messed up, I made a mistake, But I take responsibility that there was something project onto me and I didn't know what to do with it. First of all, let me see, was it their projection? And if it was, let me take my power back. And let me not bleed on the other people. Let me not hurt another person. Let me not misuse or mistreat someone else because it's not theirs. And that wasn't even mine. Okay? Alrighty, y'all. I'm fixing to get off of here, but I wanted to actually get that here because, and I'm telling you, I can say this all day long. And somebody else, like I said, just go on and do what they say they're going to do. And then when stuff gets out of hand or when it explodes into a whole, then folks trying to put Band-Aids on it and take and calm it down. Well, no, the fire's out there. And it's the truth. You trying to blow on it, that ain't gonna, when you've added so much to it instead of looking at it and saying, was this supposed to go this way? Or could we have, as mature, especially we adults, the kids, that's what they do. They fight. Then next thing you know, they friends. But some of us, the adults, we got nerve to tell the children that you don't need to be friends with so and so and so because they bad, they this. Instead of just saying, I don't know how they were raised, but I know how we're trying to raise you. Now, no, there's boundaries to be set. I'm not going to let nobody mistreat children. That's one thing. But again, got to look at some things consciously. That's just true. Because some of you parents, y'all are projecting through your children. Y'all be tickling me with that. Y'all be tickling me with that. Okay? Alrighty then. I'm fixing to get off of here. Thank you all for coming through. But yeah, check your projections. Check your projections. Before I told them, yes, I said yesterday, before they razzle dazzle you up, check that and see if there's some, see what is it really yours. And if so, you know what to do. But if it's not, put it back in them folks' life. Let them cuddle and coddle and weigh it the way they need to. Okay? Alrighty. We will be back. Y'all have a good day. Like I said again, I'm trying my best to learn how to work this thing and bring y'all a different sound and quality on here. And again, I think like I said, we'll check and see. I think January 29th is the last day for my band on Facebook. So for the band on Facebook. So we'll see. We got some artists set up for February. I'm excited and some more guests to come on. So yeah, so we're working on that. We're working behind the scenes. I'm trying to bring people in so they can actually give us what we need in this season and an hour. All right. Y'all have a good one. Love you. Bye bye.